Hello and welcome back to my lady. So I missed yesterday's upload, so you'll be seeing Immortal Love, Letter from the Past, episodes 5 and 6, along with these. The reason I missed it is because I didn't wake up in the time I wanted to record and edit it and get it up, and I didn't get home in time to upload it before midnight because we were short-staffed at work. So I missed the day. I wanted to be consistent for this special, but unfortunately that didn't happen. The specials, I always try to be consistent. But, it's hard to do YouTube and work an actual job at the same time. That's why I schedule videos to go up automatically, so I'm not stressing over it. But it is it's whatever. Anyways, I turned my head to the front door, hearing another set of horses. It's Lady Bauxmont. Alexander, please check who has arrived.
Yes, my lady.
Alexander quickly walked over and opened the door to see outside.
Your mother has returned.
I felt my heart stop. Was my luck just terrible today? Alexander quickly exited the front door to assist my mother out of her carriage. I stood knowing that my mother would want me to be at the lobby waiting for her. I wonder what she's going to say about our dress. I felt frozen, unsure of how to explain the second carriage to my mother, who was very quickly on her way inside. It was a suitor, but I didn't want her to get the wrong idea. I don't remember this theme song being for Lady Beaumont's entrance. At last, my mother stepped into the lobby, and with Alexander carrying her bags almost effortlessly behind her.
There you are, punctual as expected.
And how quickly the music stopped and starts. My mother quickly stepped up to me and looked me up and down. I waited to see how she would respond. I wore white instead of red. Surely she would be happy. No?
No mistakes or loose flaps of cloth?
She likes a white dress, so doesn't matter what dress we wear as long as it's perfect, I guess. I smiled at my mother. I did appreciate when I made her proud enough to not lecture me.
Now, can you explain to me why there's another carriage in the front?
A suitor? I had to be calm. She had to understand that I was not interested in a suitor, nor did I invite him. Isaac Newport wanted to visit today, Mother. He was in town and decided to stop by. I'd still like to know how I found out where I lived.
And where is he?
In the drawing room, drawing. In the drawing room, Mother, which I'm assuming is down that hallway right there.
I have no time for guests. I have much to do, and I won't have you entertaining guests without me.
Hey, he showed up. I didn't invite him. My mother turned her head to Alexander.
Escort him out.
Yes, madam.
Alexander gently placed my mother's luggage down and away from the door, and quickly left for the drawing room.
Now, have you been keeping up with your studies?
Maybe. Yes, Mother.
Have you been practicing the piano?
Yes, Mother.
Perfecting your handwriting?
Yes, Mother. Yep. I got a feeling that she wasn't doing any of that.
Good. Then we can discuss.
As she was about to finish her statement, Isaac and Alexander entered the lobby, walking towards the exit. Isaac stopped and bowed to my mother.
Oh, hello, Lady Beaumont. It is a pleasure to meet you.
It is a pleasure to meet you too, Mr. Newport. I'm afraid we have some business to attend to, so we cannot entertain you today. Feel free to stop by tomorrow.
I understand perfectly, ma'am. Please, have a good day.
Isaac bowed to my mother before smiling at me.
And a good day to you too, Miss Beaumont.
With that, he left and exited the mansion, with Alexander closing the door behind him.
Mr. Newport, you say?
Yes, Mother.
He looked to be your age. Was he a suitor?
No, Mother. Yes, he was. Why lie? Couldn't lie to her. I wonder what happened if we did. She knew how to see through lies. My mother stared at me in in thought before walking past me towards the drawing room. I sighted and followed suit. Ooh, I don't remember if I think I remember we did make it to the drawing room once. We entered the drawing room, where Sophie was cleaning the tea Isaac was previously having.
Leave the tea. Bring new cups.
Yes, madame.
She quickly left the room with the used cups Isaac had, leaving me and my mother alone. My mother sat down waiting for me to sit across from her in an empty seat. I quickly obeyed her silent command to do so. Looking to her and sitting was up as properly as I could.
How old are you now?
17? 17, mother.
17 and still unmarried. What am I to do with you?
She wants grandkids. I bit my tongue. I knew better than to speak back to my mother when she talked like that. She had been hoping one day I would marry, but it was becoming futile.
Anyways, I will be staying here for a couple of days to deal with some in-town business. I expect you to entertain Mr. Newport properly should you return. This goes for any suitor, understand?
Yes, mother.
The dinner schedules will be upheld as I am here. If you are not at dinner during the scheduled time, you will not eat. Understand?
Oh, that's a harsh punishment. Yes, mother.
Good.
I couldn't imagine living in an era like this. Sounds very strict. My mother was strict, but for good reason. She wanted me to be a perfect lady, suitable for marriage and upholding a family. Alright. That's usually today's standards, isn't it? If I was a toe out of line, I would be lectured, and until I regretted ever disobeying. I think today's standards, I think that's how most families feel about particularly their daughters now. You know, any kid, really. I remember my dad served in the military. And, yeah, if I disobeyed him, wouldn't look good. Our kids, see, take this into consideration. Our parents did more tough on us for no reason. They were tough on us because they were trying to prepare us for the real world. Because the real world isn't always what it seems to be. And so they had to be tough on us, so when we eventually get out on our own and fend for ourselves, make our own money, pay our own bills, we're better equipped for that stuff. Just something to keep in mind in case any kids or anybody now still doubt their parents. We drank tea, barely speaking to each other. Before I was dismissed back to my room, I quickly stood, bowed, and left. Sophia followed behind 2 steps away from me. As I entered my room, I stumbled and let out a tired sigh. So, mother's here. Wonderful.
Oh, come now, man, you should be happy.
Yeah, I'm not. I walked to my bed and sat down, feeling exhausted. Feeling exhaustion take over my body like a gust of wind. I thought of the suitor. Oh, goodness, she's thinking of Isaac Newport. He was polite, but was he really? People can fool you in that category. He seemed young and bright, and it seemed like a good idea to try and be with him. It would indeed make my mother happy. Oh, on the other hand, she's still thinking about Alexander. I still liked Alexander. He kept me enthralled, whatever that means, in his spell, and I didn't know how to proceed with him. That was a bad read. Mother would never approve, but I couldn't deny my feelings so easily. Well, wouldn't Alexander have to quit being a butler in order for that relationship to work? Because that would be awkward, wouldn't it? I looked to my window. Life's not fair, is it? Here we go again.
You keep saying that, miss. If you keep looking like that, you'll never get oranges.
It's lemons, Sophie. But what can I do? My eyes traveled down, wanting to land in my lap. However, my gaze stopped at an envelope stuck in the window. Oh, another read. Huh? What is this? I stood and walked to the window, taking out the envelope and opening it. I took out the parchment and read it aloud. The girl puts on the red hood. Bishop to King, K. Another riddle? Again, another riddle. What was going on?
A riddle? The glass slipper bit talks about Little Red Riding Hood, but the second part talks about chess again.
This makes no sense.
Ooh, maybe it's a sign. Someone's telling you to,
Go out into the night? I don't think so, Sophie. Was I sure, though? This note and the last were connected, somehow, but I didn't want to blindly follow their messages. Yeah, this sounds... Messages like that you should trust. Especially if they're very vague. I guess I'll just wait for another one. If another one appears, I'll try to sort this out. Something in my gut was telling me that these messages were meant to tell me what to do. Were they about Isaac? If they're making you choose, like helping you choose between Alexander and Isaac, then they're not doing a good job of them. Or were they about Alexander? Again, they're not doing a good job if they're about either one of them. I felt tired just thinking about it. I gently fell back onto my bed, uncaring if my dress was still on, and let my eyes close naturally.
Mom, shouldn't you?
No. Shh.
Okay, Mom. Have a good rest.
I didn't hear a door. Does that mean Sophie's going to be watching us sleep? And just imagine if we woke up and she's still in there. I listened as Sophie left the room, leaving me alone. I kept my eyes shut, letting my exhaustion take hold of me and bring me to a world of sleep. I didn't mind that the corset binding me limited my breathing. That's painful. I'm just getting pains in my chest. I can just imagine how that must have felt back then. I felt a peace resting in my bed. I didn't even open my eyes until hours later when the sun was down. I sat up, wincing at the squeeze my corset had on me. I looked around and realized that now the stars and night sky were out, I missed dinner. Ugh, I missed eating. What am I going to do? As I asked myself that question, I looked to my desk where a plate covered with a small tray cover sat. I stood and walked over, opening it to reveal a plate of food. So you didn't miss eating. Sophie was kind enough to bring you something. Sophie, I will have to thank her when she returns. I smiled and was about to sit to eat, but something in the window caught my eye. Huh? I walked over and peered out the window to see Alexander walking around the house away from my window. Oh, Alexander? Alright, we'll read one more and then we'll probably close out the episode. It was odd for him to be outside this late, let alone at all. The only time I've noticed he's gone outside is when he's escorting Isaac or Lady New Beaumont in. He never really went outside unless someone needed to be escorted in. If I was you, Elizabeth, I'd be a little sus about that. Why was he outside now? I quickly rushed to my dresser, but before I could touch the knob, I stopped and stared at my hand. Alright, one more. Was this a good idea? Sneaking out late at night to see what my butler was doing. And I think that's where we're going to conclude this episode of My Lady. I hope you guys had fun. And I'll see you next time.